guys, it's Shelby and Michelle with Farmhouse Living, and welcome back to our channel. We have told you that we are doing more home tours, and today this is not our first home tour with you. I'm gonna just stop counting because we're just gonna keep coming because there's always something new in your home.
And y'all love it. Every time we get so many comments and people are just absolutely in awe of this space. So we're gonna keep coming back.
Before the season even started, it was literally Thanksgiving, and I was getting questions. When are you going to Michelle's house? When are you going to? So this is sweet. Michele, Vintage Home Designs, and she has an amazing home. So I think the way we should do this is we should talk about what you have this year, but also talk about what's different, kind of what you changed, because I think people would enjoy the process. You said in the past you've kind of got stuck in thinking this is just where it goes. And I don't honestly believe you because every time I come in, there's something different.
I do not believe you.
So let's start with your entry breakfast nook area. We have beautiful evergreen garland going up the staircase. And is that the A floral Norfolk?
It is similar. I actually found that one this year at Kirkland's.
Okay.
And I bought two because I was going to do the fireplace. And then I decided to do something different, and I knew I needed 3 more, and I figured they would be out. But I went and they had some more, and they even still had it online when I bought it. So I shared it, but people are telling me now that it sold out quickly. But I think it looks very similar to the A floral.
It looks, I would say, identical.
It might be.
So you have done evergreen when we've come, but you've also done kind of the dried, natural, you mix it up. And so this year you did the green, and that was your pops. And you also have your dried hydrangeas, which you told me you were going to pull out, and you didn't.
I know, I haven't.
You do try to keep those from year to year, but sometimes, as you've said, things don't make it.
Right.
Yeah.
And those kind of do need to be replaced. So maybe next tour.
Yeah, maybe next one. But I think for this tour, I think they look great.
But let me tell you what my favorite thing this year is: these incredible pine cones around this mirror. It's just something to see. What kind of pine cones are those?
I don't know, and it's such an unusual color. I actually bought those at the end of October in East Texas. There's a really cool little boutique type shop, and they do a sale twice a month. It's called 80 Acre Market, and I think a lot of you may have heard of that, and I have never been. I'm actually from East Texas, and I was there in the end of October. My family went. It was a girls' day, and they had those, and they're actually only 3 feet, and luckily I bought 2, and I was able to make it into a garland. But I thought the color was so unusual because it's not dark like pine cones usually are. It's more light, which is usually more my aesthetic, but they're not bleached like I've done before. So
super neat. They're big and long and just awesome, and I may steal them on the way out the door.
So you also have your little tablescape this year. You did some bottle brush trees, and we have, Mom always talks about your little cloche.
Because Michelle likes to cloche things. And I love a cloche. So you guys will find it fascinating how many things you can cloche.
Well, I actually had been collecting neutral colored nativity scenes, and I've really never figured out a way I wanted to display them. And so I thought this year I'm going to do that. And I don't know why, but the cloche thing. So each individual nativity is kind of in a cloche.
Seriously, every year Mom talks about your cloches.
Well, I mean, who does that?
And she stole my cloche this year.
I did.
Oh, no.
So now I have to get more cloches so I can cloche things. And then we have your amazing neutral tree, which in previous years you've told us that you thrifted.
I did.
How much was it?
Oh, like $20. And it is so old and in such bad shape. When I move it, it's just a sea of white needles. So
but you don't take anything off?
I do take things off. I just don't take it out of that box, and I cover it, and it literally rolls to the garage.
So one thing I want y'all to know that we really just learned about Michele, which we could have assumed, but she doesn't really get inspiration from the normal sites. Like you and I will Pinterest or we'll look at different things on Instagram, but it feels to her as if she's not being creative and finding new ways to do things. One fun fact is this tree actually has broken glass in it.
Yeah.
I mean, that is definitely an original. What made you do that?
I don't know. I've had those for many, many years, and I actually broke in my storage unit a vintage glass mirror a couple months ago. And I thought, oh, this is my chance. I'm going to do a post and I'm going to share how to do it. Well, that was one of those projects that hasn't happened yet. So
Yeah.
my plan is to share how to do that. I love the look, or like the patina that you get on the aged mirror.
Yes.
And I thought, I can't throw that away, but what am I going to do with that? So
stay tuned for the tutorial. Maybe tell us again about your barn doors for the new people who haven't seen one of the many videos we've done.
Okay. Those were one of the first things that we bought when we were planning the house. And I bought those at Round Top. They were off of a carriage house in Iowa. And they're 6 feet wide and 10 feet tall, each of them. So they're 10 by 12. And we actually planned the openings on the wall around the doors, and they had to put a big header beam in the wall to hold those because they're massive heavy.
They're huge.
And last year you had magnolia, and this year you've done something new.
Actually, I just did that a few days ago because I was struggling with what I could have. I need two, and they need to be large because a regular, like a store-bought wreath is just too small. And I had those 2 grapevine wreaths in my attic that I was going to do something with in the summer, and I didn't. So I actually cut the binding wrap around, that holds it together, and I started pulling them apart to make it more loose and bigger. And then my mom lives in East Texas, and when she came one day last week, I had her bring a bag of pine and cedar. So all of that is fresh on there. I used ribbon I already had. So basically those were free. I already had the grapevine wreaths I had bought at a thrift store in the summer. So
good.
And so then I can customize the size. And
well, and now I bet you get really creative with how to embellish them throughout the year, like fall and, it's amazing. Okay, and then your living room. I love your garland on your mantle. It's lit and beautiful. And then your nutcrackers, they're so fun.
They're very hot this year, but you've had yours.
Well, I bought mine in November on a trip to California, and I don't know if y'all read my story about this. I was at the airport in Dallas about to board a plane to go do a design job in California, and one of the accounts that I love so much on Instagram shared those in her stories, and she said, I bought these at CVS. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to be gone 10 days, and by the time I come home, those are going to be gone. Oh, wow. So I am texting all of my friends, my daughter, my mom, if y'all see these, look for them. Well, little by little, they're messaging, we can't find them. And when I was in California, we went in a CVS, and there they were. And so I had a weak moment, and I bought them, and then I got out to the car, and I thought,
back to
how will I
get
these home? Yeah. So anyway, I got creative and used moving blankets and broke a box down, and
I've done that before. That's.
Did you carry them on, or you?
I checked them.
Okay.
And I was afraid they were going to charge me an exorbitant cost to check them, and they didn't.
They did.
No.
Well, they're amazing. I think that is just an amazing. So, did they come like that, or you painted them?
No, that's how they came.
Okay, because
that was obviously what spoke to me about them, because a lot of times with the Santa and Nutcracker, you're going to get the bright traditional Christmas colors, and I don't do that. So that was one of the reasons I thought to have those.
Right, but Michelle is not short on color because there's so much to see, textiles, and it's just layer upon layer upon layer, and so you do not miss any color. Nothing is left.
So the last blog post that I wrote about you was, I think I used the phrase, I just didn't know that you could be this bold, this neutral, and you did it. Like you proved that neutrals can be impactful from a design standpoint. So right off your living room is your primary bedroom, and every tour we haven't showed that. I think only 1 or 2 times we've shared, and you do have a Christmas tree in your bedroom this year.
I do this year. That's a first. I've never put a tree in there.
Yeah. And it's the King of Christmas.
It is. It's their noble fir, and I love it being in there because it's lit, and I didn't really do much decor. Some little velvet ribbons and a few little simple, and I just love the simplicity.
Yeah.
In the lights.
It's just
and
perfect.
Just left it.
Is there anything else in your bedroom that you feel like is?
I didn't do a lot in there. I have one of those large vintage tobacco baskets that I love, and the story behind that was I went to our local thrift store one day to do a drop-off, a donation, and it was sitting by the trash bin. And I went over and asked the guy if I could buy it. And he looked at me like I was crazy. And he said, "You want that?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he said, "Just have it." And he loaded it up for me. And I thought, he has no idea what he just gave me.
No.
So it's been on the wall. So I just kind of did a wreath and a little bit of the greenery in there this year, and just kind of kept it.
You kind of have
simple with the
favor
tree.
like that. Sometimes you just get some fun stuff for not very much money.
Yeah,
That's
you
fun.
just, to me, it's that thrill of the hunt, and I love the bargain, and
Yeah,
getting
so
free
fun.
is good.
Free is good. Free is great, I think. Okay, so now let's go to your kitchen and your, what do we call this again? I always forget. Like, we just
my sitting area.
Your sitting area.
Yeah, that's what I call it.
It's good at that.
let's do
sitting
it.
area.
My
Okay.
favorite.
Yes. Okay, so now we're in your kitchen, sitting area, dining or breakfast or
Breakfast.
Breakfast. Okay. It's whatever you want it to be, and that's what I love about your house.
And you probably know the story that this is not how this was made. This was originally the dining room,
yes,
and that was the sitting room, and that was the breakfast room.
but
And
this is better.
it works so much better.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Stephanie actually did that too.
Works so much
we
better.
found in her tour that she told us the same thing. She flip-flopped dining room and sitting room. And I love a sitting room and a kitchen because you're here, your family's here, you're cooking, you're enjoying each other's company, and it makes a great place to have fellowship.
Well, and I think the cool thing about this is looking at your space and not being boxed in. Like, this has to be this. This has to go here. Like, I mean, and what's it going to hurt to move the table over there and swap the chairs? And if it doesn't work, move it back.
Yeah.
You know?
And
I
this
mean, your
works
husband.
so much better because we use this every day.
Every day, yeah.
And it's where people come and gather. People gather in the kitchen.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? And I have a kitchen large enough for that, but this just makes it more comfortable because I can seat a lot of people, and
Yeah.
it works
Yeah.
so much better.
So in your kitchen, on the countertops, you don't have a ton, but you do have this amazing hutch. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. And I think last year, did you have the white trees, the neutral?
I had green trees there last year. I have had the white trees before.
Yes.
I was trying to switch it up, so I put
Yeah.
the white ones back.
And then you took an old chain from a chandelier and just threw it up there?
I did. That was
So
from a
cool.
chandelier we hung in the house, and I didn't need all that chain, so I don't get rid of all those cool vintagey pieces. And I thought, oh, that'd be a good cool garland.
I would never think that.
So,
But it looks so much. Now I will try
Now
to,
you
it opened my mind to possibilities. And then the music notes, so sweet. And you have just collected finds. I love your Santa mugs. Are those?
those are, you're going to ask if they're vintage?
Yeah.
Those are not, but the others are.
Okay.
So those are just mugs I bought. I don't know, maybe Hobby Lobby had them last year, but I do have my beloved collection of white ones, and I try to add one or two every year. I just love the white ones, and they're a little harder to find.
I was going to say, I've never seen one.
They're hard to find.
Okay.
So,
And when you originally built the kitchen, you had a different pendant over your island, but it really wasn't you. And I think you recognized that when you came in, it was not what you needed. And then these woven basket lights are everything. I love them.
I love the change. The original ones were a galvanized pendant, very industrial, and I liked them for a season. They were there 4 or 5 years, and I liked them then. And the countertop was dark wood, and the base was gray. And I don't know, once I changed the fixtures, then it started looking like
Domino effect.
yeah, it was. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
So I had too many colors and things going on in here. So we flipped the counter over. I did a makeover. That's another story for another time.
Yeah.
And painted the base of them white to go with the rest of the kitchen. And I like it so much better.
But this feels like you to me more than the more industrial. And it also, it just feels so warm and inviting and
Very cozy.
very cozy. I just love it so much. It's my favorite.
Did you DIY that wreath on that door?
No, I did not. That one I did not. I purchased that last year.
So cute.
And it was an after clearance bargain.
So cute.
Yeah.
Okay, and while we're in here, we got to talk about your breakfast first. Mom and I tried to do this, in my house.
The paper whites?
We couldn't find any paper
find them.
whites.
They have been a little bit hard to find the last 2 years. Last year I ended up having to order them on Amazon, and before they ever arrived, then I ended up finding them at Lowe's or Home Depot, so I had a bazillion. So I planted them all through January, which ended up to be kind of a fun mistake because it's just nice to have that little bit of greenery during that gloomy winter month in January. Like, you've taken the Christmas down, and what do you do now? It's not time for spring. So it was kind of fun to have that. This year I did end up finding them at Lowe's.
Okay.
So we always say we're going to do an early
Shopping.
shopping
And we never
trip.
do.
And we never do, because there's just some things, if you wait, they're gone.
They're gone.
Now, I will say the vessels that you have those in, the ironstone, it just is absolutely beautiful. So just a collection of ironstone with those bulbs, and it's just perfect.
It's so good.
So good.
Well, I have a collection of those, and sometimes in the spring or the summer I'll use them over the top of the hutch with some white pictures. And so I had them.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so I thought I'm going to pull those out and use them, because that's not usually something I would incorporate for Christmas decor, but I love them.
So good.
Yeah.
So
And then last year, you were famous for your plate tree wall.
who knew, right?
Yeah, it seems like something that we all should have thought of, like, easily, but
And I was really surprised when I decided to do it. And I honestly don't even remember what sparked that idea. Probably switching all this out, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with all of these white plates that are usually in there. I was kind of shocked that I'd never really seen it, and so many people messaged and said, "Oh, that's such a cool idea." I'm like, I can't believe nobody's done this.
So you did it again, but not
did.
there, in the guest room, and you did it with your
I did silver platters.
silver platters. It's so good.
Yeah.
And it's something a little bit different. It was kind of hard not to do the white one again, because I loved it so much, and I love the white ironstone plates, but I thought I want to do something a little bit different. I had those.
Yeah.
The only piece I didn't have was a cool little one to use like for the trunk. And so on a little shopping day last weekend, I found that last little piece.
Well, and I want to bring up, I feel like a lot of people would be like, you can't hang dishes and plates and platters in a bedroom. But you've shown, not only in your primary bedroom, but in your guest room, you can. And it's perfect. Like, it doesn't only have to be like a canvas print. Like, it can be creative things, and it can definitely be dishes. And
I think that you have to get past the rules.
Yeah.
Rules of design can paralyze you.
yeah,
If you love it,
do it.
what difference does it make if
Yeah.
that's where it's made to go? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, those silver platters aren't made to be a Christmas tree either.
No.
But,
No,
you know,
but you did it.
Yeah.
And I feel like, too, when you love it, that's what makes it contagious. That's almost what spurs on a trend, you know? It's like, oh my gosh, they did it, and they weren't afraid, and they weren't, you know.
Right. And sometimes I think that kind of makes it okay
Yeah.
for people to be okay to do it if they're a little bit fearful and feel like they have to kind of follow the design rules, so to
Yeah.
speak, you know. Anyway, if I love it, I do it.
Yeah.
And then do you, like for me, when I'm finally finished, and I know we're never finished, but when I've gotten to a point where I can just sit down and just take it all in, and do you enjoy your space and just hang out in the rooms and kind of admire the earthy nature pieces, or the different ways that you've brought in platters or cloches or this or that? Because I mean, I think I would just want to just hang out in every room and just admire the view.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I probably don't slow down and enjoy it as much as I should,
Yeah.
because typically, I mean, I'm just so busy this time of year. We all are so busy. I'm always the home decor influencer that's late to the party.
Yeah.
I'm always doing things at the last minute, because honestly, I don't like to decorate for Christmas before Thanksgiving, because I host and I like it to be. This year, I was like, I'm going to do it early, and I ended up being gone to California on a design job, and so I ended up not being able to do it, and so I was still running late. But I hope that at this point I'm done, and I have another, 10 days to
it's
enjoy it.
amazing. And you do the holiday home tour in Rockwall that we always
did.
feature. And so Michele, if you don't know, puts that on, and that is another reason why she is a go-go girl.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I did. Last week was all about home tour and not mine.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah. Well, so I do want to mention your back patio. sometimes we share it and sometimes we don't, but you are just the most amazing, I'm going to call you a tablescape artist.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
She has got it down. They are amazing. And she has one in the works out there for how often do you post them on your blog?
Well, I'm in a virtual dinner club with 4 other bloggers. We've been doing this. January will be 2 years.
Okay.
And we do a theme every month. And so we do a tablescape and a menu once a month. And
they're so good.
It's been super fun. And actually, I didn't realize until I started doing that with them January 2 years ago how much I loved doing tablescapes.
You're so good.
That was a new thing for me because when we are all 5 and now 6, because we invite a guest every month, you're all doing the same thing. Now, you have no idea what the other one's doing, which that's the fun part, but it's still a theme, whether it be Christmas or Thanksgiving or Valentine or whatever the theme is, you know there's going to be some crossover. So I'm really, really trying to think out of the box to not probably duplicate what somebody else is going to do. And I think that's the part I've decided that I really love. It's kind of like the thrill of the hunt with the thrifting and the estate sales to find that treasure that you can take home and do something different with. It's kind of that way with the tablescapes. I like to find different things and how can I use this different. I've ended up really, really enjoying that, and I had no idea before.
You're saying this one isn't finished, but to me, it's sheer perfection.
I know, I was going to say, I'm sharing it. I don't care.
You don't care.
It's finished to me. It's amazing. And then your exterior, you do have some decor on your patio, right? Your front porch?
Yes.
And it's just...
a little bit. I don't do a lot out there, and that changes every year too, because that is the one place that sometimes I will use the traditional Christmas colors. I didn't this year. So like from the street, it just kind of blends in because you don't have those pops of color, you know. But anyway, I kept it pretty minimal out there this year.
But when you walk up to the door, it is very inviting and very Christmassy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always feel like I'm drawn into your house.
Yes.
That's good.
So if you want more of Michele's home, you can see more tours. I'm going to make a vintage home designs playlist. And you can compare you've officially made it. And we're not going to stop sharing your home because every single time, I thought, a lot of people, we only share once, but you've made it. You're officially a part.
I'm honored.
You're in demand. People want to see your home. And so you can see that playlist. I'm going to link it in cards. Also, I will have pictures on the blog. Make sure you follow Michele, Vintage Homes Designs. And she has a blog, an Instagram, and an amazing Pinterest for all your inspiration needs.
When I'm scrolling, I stop when Michele comes up, and I'm like, oh, I know her, Santa.
Yes.
So you guys like, subscribe, share these with your friends. We have a whole Christmas palooza. And we will see you on the next tour.
Yes.
Bye.